Let's get right into it. Sources are saying Toronto are planning an aggressive offseason rebuild around around Joe Deceives. The Toronto Ultra are entering the backup 7 offseason with major ambitions, looking to build a championship caliber roster around franchise star Joe Deceives. With the organization set to fully embrace its KOI rebrand, management is aiming to make a splash by pursuing top-tier talent, and all signs point to moves on the horizon. Now, at the top of the list is Kenny, the 2-time world champion who's become a free agent after being released by Minnesota Rocker. Sources indicate that negotiations between Kenny and Ultra are progressing smoothly, and unless another team presents a significant offer, he's expected to land in Toronto. Okay, W for that boy Kenny. He's gonna land in a real top organization. In chat, I called this a couple of months ago. I did say that what Toronto needed was Kenny. If you guys saw my video on my CDL channel a couple of weeks ago, actually not months, I said that during the offseason, if they could replace Insight with Kenny, I think that's an absolute steal. I think right now the way I look at that is there's a lot of rosters that if you could take not a gamble, but if you could get a player that's maybe form has dipped recently, but is a really good player, I think you can get a superstar at a good time. Kenny's a perfect example. Had a terrible year, but the guy's unbelievable. I think it's a great opportunity for Kenny to kind of rebuild his stock, show why he's one of the best players in the world, and I think it's a great landing spot for him. And then we go through and we have that boy, Toronto Ultra, going for Draza with confirmed reports that him and Kenny are open to reuniting. Unbelievable news if you are Kenny and Draza, because you're going to work together with someone that you won a Call of Duty championship with, and you have one of the best SMGs on the market, Joe Deceives. It's an unbelievable opportunity for the boys right now. And we go through Draza's situation is fluid, as a return to FaZe remains a possibility, as well as a gentlemate. So Draza's got his options open. If you're Draza, you're chilling right now. You're going to see where the pieces are going. Maybe if Abezy comes to Toronto, you're inclined to come to. Maybe if FaZe are picking up an absolute superstar like Real or Renko or 04, you're like, you know what, I might go back to FaZe. There's a lot of options there. Gentlemates as well, an absolute stellar of a brand, has a lot of potential there to go there as well. Maybe they rebuild around Draza, they give him the keys, you never know. There's a lot of options down to play, and I think right now we just have a really good, interesting offseason. Let's go through. Is there anything else on this situation? Ultra is also aggressively, this is it for me. This is it. Whatever happens here will decide Rostermania. This is where all the pieces will go through, because they're going for that boy Abezy, chat. Ultra is also aggressively pursuing Tyler Abezy, the longtime FaZe SMG star. While acquiring him would require a substantial buyout, his desire to move on from FaZe has opened the door. Toronto hopes to pair Abezy with his close friend Joe Deceives to form one of the most dangerous duos in the CDL. That said, the Thieves, Vegas Falcons, and Gentlemates and other contenders are also circling, making the race for Abezy highly competitive. Kleenex has not been ruled out as a returning place. Toronto is keeping all options open as it evaluates its best path. Let's go through, chat. What we thinking? Talk to me, chat. What we thinking? And that boy Glitch coming in with another gifted. And Glitch is going on an absolute fucking tear. My boy Glitch, thank you for the gifted. You are going on an absolute tear right now. Chat, can we show some love to that boy Glitch? Glitch, we need to absolutely get you some sub 8s as a priority today, my man. Thank you. Chat, talk to me. What are we thinking about this new stuff? Joe, Abezy, Draza, and Kenny. That is the rumor. That is what we're seeing right now, chat. What do we think about that? Do we like that? Do we not? What are we thinking, chat? I think this team, basically, the way I'm looking at it right now, chat, is the team is going to be, regardless, it's going to be Joe, Kenny, and Draza, more than likely, with either Kleenex or Abezy. That's what it's looking like right now, chat. I think if Abezy joins his team, it's a fucking top 3 team. If he doesn't, it's about a top 4, top 5 team. I still think it's a good team, but I think the other teams will be better. I think if Abezy joins his team, it could be better than Thieves. I'm just really high on Abezy, bro. He's one of my favorite players in the CDO. I think he's unbelievable. I really do. It's interesting though, man. It's interesting to see what happens to this Toronto team, bro. It really is interesting, chat. They had a really good EWC, man. They fell flat to Vancouver, but they played really well, man. They played really well. Joe and Kleenex were unbelievable. Inside had a good EWC, but I don't think it saved his spot, to be honest with you. Like Joe and Kleenex, great year. Don't look at the player cards too much of rating wise. Like, don't get twisted. Joe was probably top 3 SMGs of the year. He was crazy good, man. So I think they're in a good spot, man. I think it will be probably like Joe, and if we're being realistic here, I think he stays. I think instead of Insight for their, like, let's say main AR, I think they get, let's for now leave it, right? Instead of Beans, I think this is in my head what's confirmed, chat. This is what I think is going to be confirmed, okay? It's going to be Joe and Kenny. I think Joe and Kenny. And then depending on the other options, like with Draza, he could come here, or he might say, you know what, FaZe looks really good still. I'm going to say with Simp, we're going to get 04 and maybe like I don't know. Or maybe like Neptune and Abezy. I don't know. Rancor maybe. Like, it depends. If they look really enticing, they might stay there. So this could be potentially Draza. And then if that's the case, it'll be like Draza, Kenny, Joe, and Kleenex, or Draza, Kenny, Joe, and Abezy. That's where it's interesting, because I also think that Abezy, bro, if he has the option, chat, did he play Hero Thieves? I think he goes Thieves, bro. I really do. I think he goes Thieves, chat. I personally would go Thieves. I love this team, but the Thieves roster just looks so good for me, bro. I can't see a world where they turn that down, man. So yeah, man, a couple of options, chat. A couple of options. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this roster? Do you guys dislike it? What are we thinking, chat? Let me know. And yeah, Rostermania is underway, and it's getting very, very interesting, chat. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'm scared. Why are you scared, man? Would be a cold team, not gonna lie. You like it? I think it's a good team as well, man. Should be Joe, Abezy, Kleenex, and Draws. Yeah, I kind of agree, man. I think that I like the Kenny move. I was talking about the Kenny move, but I do think that Kleenex on the flex just adds a bit more pacing, but I don't know, man. Maybe they just want Kenny's leadership and stuff like that. Maybe they want the intangibles that Kenny offers. You know what I'm saying? There's a few options there. I like Kleenex better than Kenny. Kenny is solid, but Kleenex to me, yeah, I think I don't mind people saying Kleenex over Kenny, but I don't like the Kenny disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I think it's close. Hey, what's good, Silent? How we doing, bro? Welcome to the stream, man. Welcome. Ain't Kenny a main AR and Kleenex main sub? Well, they're not really mains anymore, to be honest with you, bro. Like, a lot of the times you'll realize that most of the players have to switch roles. For example, like certain hills or certain maps could be a 3 SMG. So you kind of want you have like one player guaranteed on a sub, one player guaranteed on an AR, and the other two are probably a bit flexible, man. So it kind of works like that. So for example, if you're Kenny, you're going to have to be comfortable running a sub as well. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like it might be slightly better for Kleenex, because their pacing is just going to be so good. I think as an Optic fan, when Kenny was there, I was hoping that he would pull out the sub more, but he wasn't really pushing pace as I wanted. So that's where I feel like I think that Kleenex would just be pushing pace. And I just feel like, bro, Kleenex, Joe, and Abezy, wow, what a fucking trio of pace. That is unbelievable. That's where I feel like that team is disgusting. I think Kenny's still great, but it'll be my second option, in my opinion. But yeah, didn't realize at first he's a main sub. He's a main sub, but then he played flex at EWC, and I don't think there's much between a flex and a sub, to be honest with you. It's just changing roles a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They're the best players in the world, bro. They absolutely can do both.